The views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jamison Rabbit, and the man seated next to me is still waiting for that Mr. Mixoplick standalone movie. His name is Mike Roth.
I just decided I was going to make it myself.
Yeah?
Unfortunately, I can't spell. And that is a difficult one to spell. I'm just going to call it Michael Roth.
Now, I believe if I get you to say your name backwards, you disappear. I think that's how it happens.
It causes me to burp a little. I mean, it's still pretty cool.
Just as good. It'll make everyone else. This week we have a fun episode. We are kind of finally putting the final bow on 2019's movies as we do our Oscar recap, talking about what we saw in the Oscar telecast. But then we are also looking forward at movies that we are most excited for the upcoming year. We each picked 10 movies that we're really excited to check out this year.
And fun fact, I finally got around to watching Parasite.
Ooh, let's talk about that in a minute.
All right, okay.
Let's talk about that in our Oscar recap.
All right.
But first, let's talk about what we have on the marquee, sir. And we have a film that goes by many names. Birds of Prey, a.k.a. The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, a.k.a. now titled Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Yes.
This is the
you don't have to say colon.
I do. This is the spin-off to our Suicide Squad movie where we give Harley Quinn her own standalone film directed by Kathy Yen. Margot Robbie is back in the title role. We have Rosie Perez in here, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, June Smollett-Bell, Ewan McGregor as the villain Black Mask, and Chris Messina in here as Zaz. And it's kind of taking the best part of a bad movie, the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad, and kind of making constant reference to that bad movie.
Yeah.
Constantly referencing the Joker throughout this film. And that's kind of one of my issues with this movie is it's just kind of a mess character-wise. And the way they use the characters, I did not appreciate it.
Even though the reason why they changed their name is because it's not making money. The budget was $84.5 million, and the weekend it only brought in 33. So they're scared. They want to change the name, but really the name Harley Quinn fits this movie best because they didn't really concentrate on any other characters.
Birds of Prey did barely exist in this movie.
We had The Huntress, which was told in stories of small clips, a very uninteresting story. They kind of made fun of her existence.
Her gimmick was her trying to say her name and everybody stepping on it.
Yeah, and that was pretty much it. Rosie Perez, not much of a story at all. She had a shirt that was kind of funny, which I'm not going to say.
Right.
I wasn't really sure if the young pickpocket, if she was a bird of prey or just...
Everyone's a bird of prey.
Whatever. But either way, they didn't concentrate on any of the other characters except for Harley Quinn. This is all Harley Quinn's movie. She goes up against the Black Mask, who... And this is something that really irritated me about this movie. A lot of this movie is about a bunch of female characters going up against a misogynistic, sadistic psychopath. He hates women and blah, blah, blah. But they keep on going back to talking about when she was with the Joker and how great that relationship is, according to the comic books and according to earlier movies like Vicky Vale is supposed to be kind of like... the Harley Quinn.
Before she turned.
Yeah. Harley Quinn became who she was from lots of abuse and manipulation from the Joker. This is a terrible relationship that, if you're ever on Facebook, a lot of people glorify as just a wacky couple. And it's like, no, this was an abusive relationship. This is the chance where you could say, hey, this relationship was bad, and you could get out of bad relationships when they're abusive, but instead of taking that hard topic, which would make the Joker look like a villain, which he is, they just concentrate on this Black Mask character, which I felt like was acted very poorly. Yeah, I mean, he was a jerk.
I felt like a lot of this cast was, like, either they were given nothing to do, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I think she was wasted in this movie as Huntress.
Yep.
Or their characters changed from what they really are, like Zaz and Black Mask. I didn't feel like the natural characters to me. It felt like everyone was just kind of a mess. It felt like there was a lot of notes being made by the studio as you're making this movie. Oh, make this better. Do this. Oh, maybe make this. Cut that person out. And it felt like the birds of prey themselves really didn't exist in this movie. And I don't know. I was just frustrated. And one of the, I thought there was like a couple of decent action scenes in here, but the character of Harley Quinn didn't feel right to me. And as much as I kind of trashed Suicide Squad, I rewatched it leading up to this, and it's fun. Like I really enjoyed the first 20 minutes introducing all the characters.
Hair and makeup was award-winning.
But at least it's fun. You can see that they had fun making that movie, whether good or bad. This movie bored me, and I went in with no expectations. Like I wasn't looking to trash the movie. Just went in no expectations, and I was still left disappointed when I walked out because I was bored by it.
You mentioned something to me before the show about how they are doing
the next Suicide Squad movie called The Suicide Squad coming out next year is a reboot from director James Gunn, but the reboot brings back half the cast of the original Suicide Squad. So it's rebooting the Suicide Squad, but we're bringing back Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, and then we're adding on like Idris Elba, John Cena, Taika Waititi. But why you would do that with this movie involved and like we're just going to keep rebooting the character, I don't understand. It feels very DC to me though, of like, let's panic.
And that makes me, if knowingly they're going to reboot this movie and they make this movie that references the movie that they're going to reboot, and that sounds so confusing right now.
It's classic DC though, let's confuse the fans.
It shouldn't be either way. I'm tired.
Maybe they'll be able to draw in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker into that franchise then.
He had Will Smith. Why wouldn't you want to keep the movie that had Will Smith in it?
Well, I'll tell you a reason, because Will Smith's made a lot of bad movies lately.
Yeah,
I
well...
don't know if you saw Gemini Man.
No, but Bad Boys was... people liked Bad Boys. It was fun, and they're going to make another one. Too.
I feel like you and I are on the outside as far as the overall opinion of Harley Quinn. And I've gotten into some heated discussions with people about it, and I don't understand the love for this movie.
No.
I don't.
And it's not just the bad character development. It's not just the morals that were kind of twisted where they could really said something important, but they decided not to. But also they're doing this timeline thing that they're trying to copy off of Deadpool, I think, but it's not working out well. It just feels very disjointed.
Absolutely does. What did you end up giving Birds of Prey?
I gave it a 2. I think it's a bad movie.
Yeah, I gave it 1.5. I was really bored by this movie. I'm sorry. I don't get the love for it. Moving on, though, into movies that did get a lot of love. The Oscars were this past weekend. Last episode, if you want to go back and see, we did our Oscar picks and predictions. We gave away some awards. We gave away the Mikeys and the Rabbits.
Yep.
And made our predictions for who we thought would win.
And we text back and forth when we're watching this thing. And your Rabbits are just like Oscars. They are exactly like Oscars. The Mikeys, not so much. I had a better chance of pulling stuff out of a hat and making a guess than I was actually thinking. This is the best.
The telecast itself, they went with a host-free telecast again, the second year in a row. I think it works.
I don't like it.
I like it. I don't think they need to focus on one idiot doing everything. I don't know.
I like the organization.
I like that it's streamlined. It was 3.5 hours, brought in on time.
Yeah.
Instead of these meandering shows. You get a surprise musical guest, Eminem, coming out playing a song that he won an Oscar for 13 years ago or something.
And that was weird. Okay. Continue.
No, just it was an interesting show. I don't think there's any like big controversies or any big craziness out of the show.
There's a couple of things I really didn't like about the show.
Okay, what didn't you like?
We have Elton John coming out. Out of all the best songs that were there, his, I feel like, was one of the more weak ones.
His was what we call a Lifetime Achievement Award.
It is, and that's one of the things I hate about the Oscars. I would love to see the Oscars roll out and go, that's well-deserved. And when it comes down to Parasite, yes, it's well-deserved, but a lot of these subcategories, it's like, okay, this didn't have the best sound or best hair and makeup. This is something... It's like a favor. It's like, oh, they tried really hard.
That's what I was saying with awards last week. Was like, Marriage Story. I think they want to make sure they get an award, and they're not going to get anywhere else. So Laura Dern's going to get this. I don't think she had the best performance.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you got to fit it in.
And while you're watching the Oscars and you see someone like Elton John get the Lifetime Achievement Award, well, okay, now Martin Scorsese, you know he's not going to get it because they already did the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
And it's like, why should it be so political? Why can't they just give the awards to who they actually thought did the
Oscars
best?
have always been political, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
should be.
it's
This
people
year, I
handing
think-
out awards to themselves.
I think this year I felt more obvious. And even though Parasite is a fantastic movie, I think in a large way they wanted to pat themselves on the back going, listen, we're making history today. Look at that.
It was pretty great, and we'll talk about that. The awards that were handed out, just focusing on what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
The best animated feature film went to Toy Story 4.
Yeah. And then I did not like that.
Yep. Best supporting actor, Brad Pitt got that, which I was very happy for, and I loved his little speech.
Yeah.
I enjoy him a lot. Look at that guy right there holding his award for the first time. Good man. Best supporting actress, Laura Dern, aforementioned, won it for Marriage Story. If you want to go back and watch last episode, these are all the picks that the rabbit gave.
Yeah. Not Roth's.
Best
or
actor, you got
Mikey's.
this one? Best actor, Joaquin Phoenix got it for Joker, and he made a long rambling speech.
He did. He did not thank anybody.
He quoted his brother River, which I thought was nice.
Yep, that was
He did
pretty
not
cool.
quote his brother Leaf, which I disagreed with.
He was very emotional. I think out of all the speeches, his was the best one to watch.
Pretty good. Best actress, Renee Zellweger, on her Welcome Back to Hollywood. She got it for Judy. And then we get into the big categories. Now, I was coming into the final two categories, the last 20 minutes of the show, I had missed one. I was 21 out of 22.
I guessed that one right.
Yes, you did.
That shook you up.
Yeah, I was 21 out of 22. I was like, I'm in the money, baby. And I predicted that 1917 would sweep the two big categories.
Yeah.
Really wanted Parasite to, but I'm like, there's no way they're going to give Parasite the big one. They don't give it to foreign films ever.
Yeah.
And to the surprise of everyone, Parasite and Bong Joon-ho take home the two big categories of the night.
Yeah. And that surprised Bong Joon-ho, too, because after Best Foreign Film, the only thing he said in English, I'm going to get my drink.
I'm going to drink tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to drink tonight.
And then
he
wins for
started drinking.
Then he wins for Best Screenplay, goes up there again and says, I'm going to drink a lot tonight. And then he wins for Best Director, and it's like, I'm drinking all the drinks tonight.
Well, then he was already drinking at that point, right?
And then he won his fourth Oscar, which no other man other than Walt Disney has ever done. Walt Disney, the only other person to win 4 Academy Awards. Pretty cool. I like it. And they get some eyeballs on a movie that, I think, I mean, it got you to watch it.
Yep. Well,
otherwise, you said you refused to watch it unless it won all those categories.
That is not true.
Okay.
I was going to watch it, but I figured it was more important for me to watch it before this show.
What'd you think of it?
It was great. It's a great movie. I've heard some rumblings. A lot of people were upset that 1917 didn't win, but also a lot of people have not seen Parasite because it did not get into the mainstream, and that's another thing I dislike about the Oscars. A lot of these movies are good, but they concentrate on a lot of movies that don't get circulated. We will get every bad movie at our theater, but we do not get the Oscar-winning movies. They're
That's
limited.
been an issue for the last few years now, is distribution. And a lot of it is like A24 films, right? A24 always gets nominated, has won multiple Best Picture winners now.
Yeah.
But A24 has a small release, almost on purpose, I think. And so that's always an issue with them. And some of these other studios, they have small releases. And Parasite had a small release, and Jojo Rabbit had a small release. And a lot of them are relying on like word of mouth and studio and theater chains picking them up because of that word of mouth. But a lot of times, word of mouth isn't until after the awards are handed out.
Well, when it comes to the case of A24, don't they purposely stagnate? And that, I mean, I love A24, but it screams pretentiousness. You only get this movie where there are wealthy people who are rarely into arts. You don't get it into the rural areas.
He's got to track that thing down.
There's movie
Track 'em
lovers
down.
everywhere. Some people can't really just pick up like we can.
Track him down. That's what I say.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the Oscars were handed out. The awards were all given out. I laid some dinero out on this, and unfortunately, me losing the two big categories, which I actually wanted, like the
I know
movie I
you-
wanted to win, actually hamstrung me from winning the money.
Well, you also
I went against my heart.
You also lost sound.
I did lose sound mixing, but that's if that was it, if I would have gone 23 out of 24 instead of 21 out of 24, you would have seen me. I'd be in Bermuda right now.
That's how much money you put
Oh,
on?
shoot.
Yeah, I mean, it's uncanny
I took
how
all
good
this
he is.
real reviews money and
Yep.
I laid it all on it. I lost it all, dude. We're bankrupt.
Like some of those films where you're like, oh, best hair and makeup, and they had Maleficent in it. And I was thinking, you know what? That is known for its hair and makeup, but you're like, no, it's Bombshell. It's going to get Bombshell.
Oh, obviously.
Boom! Bombshell.
I like impressing. My family was very impressed every time I called it out
You're
3
good.
seconds before.
I was,
It's a skill.
I had one other person next to me, and I'm like, Rabbit wins again. Rabbit wins again. And then I did a little dance when I got one right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, yeah!
I was humiliated. All right, sir, let's move on to looking ahead at 2020. This is one of my favorite things to do. In our most anticipated films of 2020, we each chose 10 films that we're going to talk about. And a lot of this is just going to be kind of quick things because there's not a lot of information or, whatever. But we're going to do the best we can with it. And I'm going to let you start off with your first film.
My number 10, I always start.
I know, that's how it works.
Okay, well, cool. Number 10, Black Widow. It's a launch of the new Marvel series. It has a great cast. I love Marvel movies. That last 11 years did not disappoint me, and I'm looking forward to the next 11 years. And this is the start of it.
It's got both of my favorite actors, Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh, and David Harbour.
Yeah,
I'm in.
David Harbour's awesome.
He's so good.
I still remember that
Frankenstein's Monsters.
Yeah. That was pretty clever. I like that one.
Cute. My number 10 is kind of going away from the rest of my list. I got no
Is it a tie?
No, I have no franchises, no sequels other than this one, and it's the one that I'm worried the most about. It's Coming to America. Coming to America 2, whatever you want to call it. Bringing back the entire cast from the 1988 movie. Normally, I'm very skeptical about these movies that are like a sequel from a film that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Especially one that was great. And I'm like, oh, that's not going to pull. It very rarely works out. But I'm very excited about Eddie.
Yeah.
And the last year that he's had has me excited. This is my favorite comedy ever. Coming to America is my favorite comedic film. And I'm ready to get burned by this one if I have to be, because I'm excited for it.
It'd be cool to see Arsenio Hall again, too.
Arsenio's excited to see himself on the big screen again. And it's, this time Akeem finds out he has a long-lost son. He's got to come back find him.
In America?
Yeah, he's got a long-lost son.
He was only in America for a little bit?
Yeah, he got a kid there now.
He must not have gotten married.
Kid was born in 1989, I think.
Oh.
This movie comes out December 18th.
All right.
There you go.
I am looking forward to it as well.
You're number 9, sir.
Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
The first one was fantastic. This is the only movie that I really look forward to in the DC
strength
universe.
of DC right here.
It really is. And I'm also curious on why Chris Pine is living in 1984. So, yeah, even though I expect this movie to be good, I'm also super curious on how they're going to... He's dead.
Yeah. I saw you die, man.
You died! They're going to pull the Darth Maul or
I'm
the
excited for this one.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
And it's not on your list because
No,
you already
sir.
foreshadowed that.
Yes.
What's your number 9?
My number 9 is a film called Annette from director Leo Carax. It is his first English film. And so when I was looking at my list, I'm relying very heavily on filmmakers.
Yeah.
I think they make good movies. I'm interested. This one is a musical starring Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard. Adam Driver is this stand-up comedian. His wife is a world-famous soprano. Their glorious life takes a turn when Annette, their baby girl, is born with a unique gift. What that gift is, I have no idea. This is all I know about the movie, but it's a musical with Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, who I love.
Huh.
And I'm very interested in it. I watched Adam Driver sing for 4 minutes in Marriage Story. I like that.
I did not.
He did some karaoke at the end of that. But I'm excited for Annette. It could be awful. Who knows? But
who does it?
it's Leo Carax. It's his first English film.
Okay.
I know nothing about this person.
Well, when you watch it, you're going to have to review it. How's that?
I will.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. You're number 8, sir.
My number 8 is Free Guy. It's coming up real soon. It's all because I like when he does Deadpool stuff.
Yeah,
he's
doing
now in a part of his career where he's just going to do the same thing over and over again, and I'm cool with that. Very, very cool with that.
Yeah.
Looks fun.
It's
And
Ryan
you're
Reynolds.
number 8. That's all I got.
My number 8 is it's a film that's going to be on Netflix. It's from Spike Lee. It's his first Netflix movie. called The Five Bloods. It also stars Chadwick Boseman and Jean Reno, Paul Walter Hauser. A group of veterans from Vietnam return to the jungle to find their innocence. That's all I know. And it's Spike Lee and Chadwick Boseman, and it's on Netflix.
It's been a while since I've been really impressed with Spike Lee.
He just made The Black Klansman last year. I really like that movie.
That was
he
good.
won an Academy Award for it.
That was good.
It makes me excited.
All right.
And it's on Netflix, so I can just watch it on a Friday morning when I wake up. That's always nice.
You don't have time for anything else.
Oh, you know those hours when everyone else goes to sleep? That's when I do my best work.
Jeez. Your body's breaking down.
Maybe. I can't hear you. My number 7, sir.
Literally.
Your number 7.
You cannot hear me. My number 7 is...
Give him some help in the booth. What's his number 7? There it is. Look up there.
It's Mulan. It's way at the top of my list. This is done by Nikki Caro, who also did one of my favorite movies, Whale Rider. I am extremely excited.
Oh, she's doing that. Okay,
yeah, cool. And it looks beautiful. I love the cartoon Mulan. I noticed they took out the Eddie Murphy character of the little dragon. But
that's okay.
I expect this movie to be beautiful and touch the
Very
heartstrings a little bit.
Movie. Every time I see this trailer, I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite Disney animated films, and I think this looks
really
great. Yeah. I think that whole story is great.
We should do a show together.
Let's do it. My number 7 is a film called After Yang. This is from director Kogonada, who made a movie called Columbus a couple years ago, which I really loved. This is an A24 film starring Colin Farrell, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Haley Lu Richardson. It's set in a world where robotic children are purchased as live-in babysitters, and a father and daughter attempt to save the life of their robotic family member, Yang, who has become unresponsive. It's an A24 movie about robots. Last one I saw was called Ex Machina.
Yeah, that was
I
really
like that
good.
one a lot.
Yeah, that was really good.
So I'm very interested in this one.
All right.
Yeah. And I have no release date on that one, but it'll be out soon. This year.
Sometimes when you pick a movie that's your most anticipated of the year, it doesn't come in until next.
We've had that happen,
yeah,
and we may have it happen this year. You're number 6, sir.
Tenet. Christopher Nolan directs another movie. He is a fantastic director. If you haven't seen him, look him up. He's done great things. Yeah. We have another epic revolving around international espionage and time travel and
he loves
evolution.
Messing around with time.
And those are all great. So give me more.
I like that a lot. My number 6 is a movie called Those Who Wish Me Dead, written and directed by Taylor Sheridan, who did Hell or High Water and Wind River, and he wrote Sicario. And it stars Angelina Jolie, John Barenthal, and Nicholas Hoult. And this is all I know. It says a teenage murder witness finds himself pursued by twin assassins in Montana wilderness, with a survival expert tasked with protecting him. Meanwhile, a forest fire is threatening to consume them all.
When you say twin assassins, I think of Matrix 2.
Who knows? I don't know anything about it. All I know is I love Taylor Sheridan. And this comes out October 23rd, and it's my number 6 most anticipated.
Very good.
There you go. Top 5 time, sir.
Coming America. We already covered it. Your top 5.
America. Man, I hope that's good.
It looks really fun.
All right. My number 5 is another Netflix film. This is David Fincher is making a Netflix movie that he's been working on forever. He hasn't made a film in quite a while. And this is called Mank. Stars Gary Oldman, Amanda Seyfried, Lily Collins. It is a biography of writer Herman Mankiewicz and his battles with Orson Welles over screenplay credit for Citizen Kane. Mankiewicz wrote a lot of Citizen Kane, and then Orson Welles was like, yank, I'm saying I did everything. Good luck. And it really focuses on this tumultuous development of the masterpiece film, and it's all shot in black and white. And the screenplay was actually written by David Fincher's father years ago, and he's been wanting to make this, and nobody would agree to let him make a black and white movie because you're only David Fincher. We can't trust you.
Did he steal it from his father?
He might have. Oh, that would be awesome. But anyways, that's going to be coming on Netflix later on this year. I'm excited for that. You're number 4.
Number 4, New Mutants. Of course, another rebirth of a new franchise or old franchise. Looking forward to how they're going to restart it. I liked it last time they rebooted the whole system. So. And this one looks more creepier, a little spookier, more like a supernatural horror element. So
I have no expectations for this movie.
Mine are a little high, so knowing me, I'll be a little disappointed.
All right. My number 4 is from writer-director Denis Villeneuve, who, in my book, has never made a bad movie. And he is taking a property which I think is just crazy to try, but he is remaking Dune. which is one of the most unused and mistreated properties that if you ever saw that movie back in the 80s, look at that thing, Kyle MacLachlan, that thing was a mess.
Yeah.
I've tried to love that movie many times, and I just can't because it's boring. But he is making this film, and he's got a cast, man. Timothy Chalamet, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem, Jason Momoa, Zendaya, Batista, Rebecca Ferguson. Like, if it hits, this could be a multi-movie franchise of just epic proportions. I was introduced to this as a kid. As you like Star Wars, you're going to like Dune. I did not like that movie.
No.
But this comes out the same day as Coming to America, December 18th. It's going to be a good weekend.
You read the book, right?
Dune?
Yeah.
I've read Dune.
It's a great book.
It's a great book, exactly. So that's my number 4. Your number 3, sir.
The Kingsman. We're bringing it all the way back
Yeah, we
to
are.
the first person who started. It kind of gives me the steampunk type feel. I love steampunk. We don't get enough of it, at least not good stuff. And Kingsman has not disappointed me ever
I
with
agree.
their first 2 movies. So ever is a pretty big word I just used.
I like it.
What is yours?
My number 3 is a film called Last Night in Soho, written and directed by Edgar Wright. Stars my girl Thomasin McKenzie, who I absolutely love. She was great in Jojo Rabbit. A London-set psychological horror film. And Edgar Wright has mentioned time travel. This is his follow-up to Baby Driver. And comes out September 25th. It's Edgar Wright.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
This looks really, really cool.
Yeah?
Well, it's got the whole horror elements. It's
Yeah.
considered a horror. It's a little bit.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Your number 2.
My number 2 is a Ghostbusters Afterlife because I love Ghostbusters. Even a bad Ghostbuster is a good Ghostbuster.
That's right.
I don't like how there was such a backlash with the last Ghostbuster
agree.
film. But you know what? I'm not going to turn down another Ghostbuster movie no matter how terrible fans are.
Good man.
Yep.
Good man. I'm with you. That trailer looks awesome. My number 2 is a movie that you mentioned earlier, Tenet, Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, another guy who just doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Doesn't make bad movies.
Yeah.
Like, I think his worst movie might be Dark Knight Rises. That's not too bad, right? The Bane one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's made a lot of great movies.
Trying to think of a bad one.
No. And you got John David Washington and Robert Pattinson, and of course Michael Caine is in this one. And I'm all about it. So July 17th, I'll be sitting there ready to watch it. Your number 1, sir.
Last Night in Soho. It has all the elements that I really want. It looks I feel like it's going to be fun. So
I like
there
it.
we go.
We're both excited for that one.
Yeah.
And my number 1 is a movie that we just got the trailer for yesterday. And it is the new Wes Anderson movie, The French Dispatch. It's Wes Anderson bringing back everybody that you know and love. The whole gang is here, plus some new friends. And he says it's a love letter to journalists at an outpost of the American newspaper in a fictitious French city. He says, quote unquote, it's not easy to explain this movie. Most Wes Anderson movies aren't easy to explain.
No.
But I watched the trailer, and within the first eighth of a second, I was like, this is a Wes Anderson movie. Absolutely.
He doesn't do anything bad yet.
No,
either.
I don't
can't
think so.
of
I
anything.
can't, no.
No.
So July 24th, The French Dispatch comes out. I'll be excited for that one. So can't wait to look back next year and see what our hit rate was on these. Hopefully none of these make our biggest disappointments list next year. Let's take a look, sir, real quickly at what we have coming out the weekend of February 21st. We have 3 movies. We have The Call of the Wild, Harrison Ford and his CGI dog. I feel like this is your movie because you do all the dog movies.
Yeah, I do the dog movies.
We also have Bram's The Boy 2. This is the sequel to that bad horror movie about the doll. I feel like this is your movie because you do the bad horror
Yeah,
movies.
you didn't see the first one
I
either. Did you?
That was,
God,
that was
was
with,
terrible.
That was with the girl from...
Walking Dead.
I saw that
Yeah.
was it. And then we have Emma, starring Anna Taylor-Joy, in a film based on a Jane Austen novel set in merry old London times.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not a great weekend.
It's not a great weekend.
We'll see.
I definitely have the dog one.
Mike-
That is a guarantee.
I hope that dog dies.
It will.
Oh, for your sake, I hope that dog dies.
They always do.
They always do. Oh, man. Before we leave, we want to thank our sponsors, Marcus Theaters, the Palace here in Sun Prairie. Thank you for sponsoring this program. We do appreciate it. It's always a joy to get to see all these movies, good, bad, or otherwise, from the comfort of a beautiful Dream Lounger seat. We love it.
Love it.
Go check out. They're still replaying some Oscar. If you want to see Parasite, it's playing in the theater right now.
And
Go check out what all the hubbub's about.
And just so everybody knows, the heated seats are in the big screen.
If your seat is black,
Uh-huh.
push the button. It'll warm your butt.
It's much needed right now.
Much, much needed. Next week, we're going to be talking about such films as the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, The Photograph, Blumhouse's Fantasy Island, as well as Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Downhill.
Yeah.
That's what we got on the docket for next week. But until that time, I'm Jamison.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.